Has Happened.
Welcome, everybody. This is Stranger Things Has Happened. This is a podcast about Stranger Things because my good friend Dan, until a few months ago, had never watched Stranger Things.
Nothing.
And I just could not let that stand.
Yes, and so my good friend Emma was like, we need to make a podcast. And I was like, I have the equipment.
And here we are.
Now we're at season 2, episode 2, Trick or Treat Freak.
Trick or treat freak.
Yeah. Yeah, and instantly I was like, wait, maybe this is about 11.
Ooh.
And then I was like, wait a second. This Max character has also been introduced, so it could be about them because they're also sort of being perceived as different than the other kids.
There's a new freak in town.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was like, it could be either of them. That's where like my first thought process was.
Okay, love it.
And then the episode started and it was 11.
It
and I was
was?
like, oh my God, we're back.
Yes. Okay.
The crew's back.
We wake up, 11 like wakes up and she's in the upside down inside the middle school. And I don't know why, because I've watched this somewhat recently, but this scene, I must have like put it on and then gone to make a snack because I had like literally zero memory of this scene happening. I don't know why, because it feels important.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
And
I
also
didn't
like what
remember
it has like those like flashes at the beginning of like her screaming at the Demogorgon and then it like going to dust.
A little bit of flashback and then
she's laying on the ground. And so like that part, I was writing everything down because so we like see her, but then she's looking for Mike. It's the name she's calling for. I'm like, they're in love, which I love. And then she ends up finding the portal that was in the wall from when Dr. Brenner got attacked.
Yeah.
I also noticed in that scene that there are blood streaks on the floor going out of the frame. And I was like, this is Dr. Brenner being pulled away.
Okay.
At least that's what I think.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was like, again, they don't put stuff in here for nothing.
Well, and I don't think I clocked this, but you clocked that was specifically where Brenner had been like attacked and it jumped out of the wall at him. Okay.
Yes. I'm watching. Okay.
Dan's paying attention. He has the pen on the page.
Yes.
He's making notes.
Yeah. So she like breaks through this wall.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then when she like stands up on the ground, I'm like, there's blood streaks. Oh yeah. So then this is like, if you've listened to our past episodes, I'm just so convinced that Brenner is still alive because they didn't show us that he got killed.
Yeah.
He got attacked, but they didn't.
Yeah. It attacked him, but we haven't so far seen. Well, we didn't see him die. Yeah. We also didn't see like his body in the upside down, which maybe could have been there.
Yes.
And we don't see his like dead rotting body on the floor of the middle school. And it seems like when she arrives back in the middle school, it's like shortly after all the events have taken place.
Because the police are there.
Like I wrote down, I was like, soldiers? Like they're still walking past and she sees them. So it's like presumably either that same night or very soon after the events that happened.
But can we also just sort of like live in the moment that she gets put into the upside down when that scream thing happens? Like that's where like the dust brought her. Why? Interesting.
Why do you think?
Well, so it goes back to her. She was screaming.
Yeah.
And that's how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
But to like go into dust and then wake up on the ground, like in the same spot, but now into the upside down. I'm like, did she create a portal? But the dust thing just doesn't make sense to me. Why they just like sort of like broke into dust.
Was she dust or was just the Demogorgon dust?
No, both of them are gone.
Well, I know they were gone, but did we actually see her like become dust, or did we just see like a cloud of dust and then she was gone? I honestly don't remember.
It was that part. There was definitely like I mean, in my brain, I thought she and it had sort of like
both.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Huh.
Well, we'll have to watch.
I don't remember truthfully, and it's possible that it's definitely supposed to make you think that. But maybe unclear. Because I remember talking about it, and you being like, what's going on with this dust thing? Like, she's never become dust before. Yes. And at the time, I was a little bit like...
You're like, did I?
Did she become dust? Like, I just didn't really remember what you see happen.
Yes. Well, and there's... I think on purpose, there's a lot of, we're going to show you an event and I think you're going to catch on to this part, but not this part, even though it is happening.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping happened with the blood streaks on the floor.
You heard it here first.
We heard it here first.
Unless you watched this in 2017.
And if you have, I don't want to hear it.
No. No.
And then she goes to Mike's house.
Yeah, she like climbs out the portal. She like walks into the woods, and then she goes up to Mike's house, and there's like police and sirens and
Everywhere.
stuff all around.
Yeah.
And she like goes up to the window looking in, like
Dear Evan
Evan
Hansen.
Hansen.
Yes.
And she sees Mike talking to the police, and I the things that I picked up on were like she sees and hears the police saying like
she's dangerous.
Like you need to stay away from her. And maybe also hears Mike be like, no, she wouldn't do that. Like, so there's a little bit of both sides.
But she's really sad. Like, she's heartbroken.
Yeah.
And I think she's also sort of like, this is going to be like my last time seeing him. And then Mike sees her in the window. And he's like, he doesn't say anything, but he's just staring. He can't believe it. And then the state, in my opinion, looks at the window, and then she goes running.
Yeah, she runs off, hides in the woods.
Yeah, everybody's now in a big search for her. And while she's hiding under that big tree, like fallen tree, incredible acting. So good. Again, they're like, hey, we have no lines for you for this scene, but if you could just sell the whole show for us. I know you're like 12 or whatever, but like we need you.
Yeah.
And she delivers every time.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's so beautiful.
This is an interesting timeline of this whole... I think that was the part that I was most, like, puzzled by when I watched this again. Maybe it's because when I watched season 2 for the first time, all the episodes dropped at one time, and I think I just, like, watched them all in a row.
Yeah.
And probably same when I watched it subsequent times, where I'm like, I'm not really paying that close attention to like what happens in what episode or even really in what order. It's like it's almost all like happening into me in one day. It's like my brain is like processing kind of like everything at one time.
Makes sense.
But because now I'm watching it one at a time and talking about it one at a time, I'm way more paying attention to like what is in each episode specifically and what they choose to have and not have.
Yes.
And so I think on this viewing,
yeah,
I was much more like, what an interesting like timeline to include in episode 2.
Yes.
Like it was interesting to me that it's not at all in episode 1. We don't see any of the like flashback part, but I guess because they save the reveal that she is alive until like the end of episode 1. So now that we know that, we can go back and be like, and here's where she's been all this time.
This is how she got to the house. And
because we have, I mean, a lot of flashbacks in this episode of 11, like hiding in the woods and like what she's been up to this whole like year, however long.
Yeah. But they're still keeping things like they're giving us like, oh, then this happened. But how did she find that? And what I need details.
Yes.
Her hiding from everyone is the open. Like the whole first open.
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm like, that would have been an incredible start to season 2. Because that's where we like left off.
Well,
but
that's
like you were saying.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
The reveal at the end of episode 1 wasn't like, I was like, yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, totally.
So.
Anyway, I mean, obviously lots of things are different on the rewatch for me, but one of the things that is most different is how I am experiencing it as like a series of episodes as opposed to just like
season 2
one long movie and then after it kind of processing like the order. Be like, oh yeah, this happened and this happened, but like the order they happened in isn't that important. Anyway,
we're watching like the story technique now.
Totally.
Yes, as opposed to like I watched the story. You're like, but it's interesting how they're telling the story also.
Well, and this, like, we've talked about this before too, but again, like, I actually think you and now me by association or like by extension are experiencing the show still in a very unique way because most people didn't watch it week by week.
No.
Why would you? You don't have to.
And I'm like, it's challenging. I'm like,
unless you're Dan.
I'm like, I would watch this back to back to back to back to back. But also like this conversation is also what makes it really exciting for me because all the time I'm like, wait, I'm having a thought.
Yes.
Because, but when you watch
you're
it all...
You're unpacking stuff in between because you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And, yes. And that's happening to me too. I'm writing notes like while I watch it, but then I actually... Sometimes I think of something like, oh, the next day and I gotta go add that or like, things kind of happen in between too.
Yeah, 100%. So we finished the cold open, and then we see Hop cooking French toast, and I wrote down, yay, more 11. Because I was like, they're going to give us that, and then we're going to have to wait till the end to see her again. But this episode really does focus in on this storyline.
Yeah.
And thank you. We're sort of seeing their dynamic a bit more like father-daughter dynamic. And I really like the section where they're talking about like compromise. Hop not knowing how to spell it. C-O-M. Promise. And him saying like, that means you're like halfway happy. And then like we see it, like see her use it in her own way, like as soon as they say it.
Yeah.
And I also like the part where he's like, they're stupid, and she's like, and we're not stupid. Like that's something that they've agreed to.
Yeah.
And I think that was really beautiful.
Yeah, he's got this like the word of the day is compromise, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you what it means like in this real context.
Yeah, because I think he ends up using it, and she's like, compromise.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, word of the day.
One of the things that I find really interesting, you mentioned like the father-daughter kind of dynamic, is that like Hop is parenting 11 in a way that we've not seen her be parented. Like, I don't think she's ever
been parented.
experienced like that kind of parenting.
Yes.
But it's like he has to teach her things like she's a baby or a toddler, like, and words that she doesn't know, as if she's like a really young child. But she's also like processing the world and like her desires and her like as an adolescent.
Yes.
And so like,
but also
even,
the most complex mind.
yes. And even like the little scene where she's like watching TV, like she has this little moment where she's watching, I don't know what it is, but she's watching some kind of like romantic scene, and she's sort of like repeating the words and kind of like imagining like that scenario,
acting as if she were saying it.
and it's like, oh, you're a little teenager.
Yes.
But she also just like has no framework for the world.
Yes.
And it's so interesting.
She's never seen it.
Totally. So watching Hop like parent her on those sort of like multiple levels at one time is really interesting.
Well, and her taking it in. Like there's so much going on in those scenes. They handle it so beautifully.
Totally.
And the agreement came up less in my brain during this episode, but I'm still like, I think Hop is a good guy. And obviously he's like really trying to like, you know, keep her safe, and I love that.
Yeah.
I just feel like something's coming and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. There is such a funny moment in this scene. It's like the first time we see 11 and we don't even see her because he's making the waffles.
Yes.
And he like turns around and there's like
she's like under the sheet.
But there's like this dramatic like stinger of music
too,
when he like sees her, and she just says ghost.
Yeah. Yes.
And he's like, oh shit, yes. Yes, ghost.
And then she's like, I can go, like the bad people won't see me.
Yeah, she wants to go trick-or-treating.
I want her to go trick-or-treating. Well, and then he was like, okay, I can't let that happen, but what if I go buy candy and I'll be back? And she's like, 5:15. And he's like, yeah, 5:15.
Halfway happy.
Yeah. She's like, every time she's like, just like expressing a genuine emotion, I'm like, God, she's so good. She's so good. Beautiful.
Aw.
The next thing I wrote down, and I was sort of experiencing this kind of like that one episode where I was like, I just want to watch it. But then this first thing, because it was 11, I was like, writing everything down.
Totally.
The next thing that I had down was Joyce found a drawing that Will did of the spider in the clouds.
Yes. So Joyce like gets out of bed and goes to wake Will up, and he's not in bed, and she doesn't know where he is, and there's like 30 seconds of her freaking out and being like, Jonathan, where's Will? And he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And then he's just in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's like peeing.
But yes, she finds this like spooky drawing of him. No, sorry. She finds Will's drawing.
Yeah.
Of, yeah, like you say, like whatever the heck that
thing is in the clouds. And I don't remember if it was in this scene or a different scene, but when she shows Hop the drawing, they realize that it's like in their front yard essentially, or whatever, or in a field that they know. Because they're like, yeah, the lines are the same.
Yeah, I think it's a later scene. They're looking at like the landmarks around the spider thing.
Yes. And so they're like, oh, like this happened here.
This comes up in a later scene, but she asks Will, like, what is this? Like, is it from one of your episodes? Did you see it? And he's like, no, it's just for a story that I'm writing or something. And she is like, he's lying to me. Like, why wouldn't he tell me what's going on? Anyway, I'm sure we'll get back to that.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have... This is such a cute little sequence of them getting into their Ghostbusters costumes and all their moms like taking the photos.
Yes.
Oh, it's so cute.
Also, Mike just having none of it. He's like, stop. Mom, stop. No, one more.
Oh, man. But the rest of them are so cute. They're like holding up their little proton blaster, I think. I don't know. I haven't watched Ghostbusters. Have you watched Ghostbusters?
I have, yeah.
Really?
Yes. But it was like
I don't know why I'm surprised.
It was a long time ago. Like, I was definitely a child, and I could probably not tell you what the story is about.
Sure.
I also sort of link it to, and this is so random, but Luigi's Mansion, because he carries around a little vacuum, then he has to suck up ghosts. And so I always, I'm like, Ghostbusters had vacuums, and they're like, no, like they shot things at ghosts. I'm like, little different.
Wait, they're not vacuums? I thought they had vacuums.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I haven't watched it, so you would know better than me.
I think that they like shoot stuff like electricity of some kind.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I don't know. That's
Maybe they are vacuums.
Do they have? Okay, write in.
Yeah. Yes.
If you've watched Ghostbusters and you remember it,
yes.
Do they vacuum the ghosts?
I need to know.
I feel like I remember watching. Okay, so I actually have watched like part of it.
Okay.
I watched however long it took before someone started having sex on a kitchen floor.
Of course.
And then it was like, we're turning this
yeah.
off. So I watched up to that scene of Ghostbusters.
Which for
but
like
I was
Bridesmaids,
also a child. Like
if that was Bridesmaids, you have like 3 seconds of
exactly.
film. They're all Ghostbusters.
But they're Ghostbusters.
So cute.
They're so cute.
And then when they show up at school,
it's like nobody else is wearing the Halloween costumes.
Nobody is dressed up.
Which, again, I think they say this, but I was like, when did they plan that? Like, they ask, they're like, when did people plan that we're not wearing Halloween costumes anymore? Everyone did it last year.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy, too, because it's not even just, like, their grade. The whole school, nobody dressed up. And theirs are, like, so intricate. And then they have this, like, cute little argument about, like, who's which character.
Yeah.
And Lucas is like, why? Because you're not black? Like, you can't be this character because you're not black? I was like, this is the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And then we see Dustin and Lucas see Max.
Yeah,
and
she
they
like,
are
skates on by.
Still in love.
On her skateboard in the hallway.
In the hallway. Going to her locker.
She's a badass.
She is a badass. And they're just like, oh my gosh, she's so cool, blah, 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 blah.
And they're like, should we ask her? They're going to ask her to go trick-or-treating.
Yes.
With them.
Yes.
But they're like, should we ask her right now? Like, and then, they have this whole exchange about like, well, what if she doesn't like Ghostbusters? And Lucas is like, of course she likes Ghostbusters. Like, true. That's not the point or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're like, okay, let's engage. And then they just stand and watch and she walks away. They're like, okay, we'll do it later.
Well, later. Ask her later.
Yeah. Did you, when you were younger, do you have like any big like Halloween costumes that you think of like that you're like, oh, I loved this costume when I was younger, or even like this was just like a sentimental moment thinking about Halloween or costumes?
Good question.
Because you didn't go to school, so you wouldn't have had this situation happen to you.
I didn't ever dress up at school because I didn't go to school.
Yeah.
My family wasn't really big on Halloween. When I was a teenager, me and my couple of best friends went trick-or-treating and we dressed up as Christmas carolers.
Incredible.
And we sang at the houses when they opened the door. But people didn't really get it. Like, they were just like, oh, yeah, you're like a bit early, like a few months early kind of thing. And we were like, guys, like,
it's
that's
funny.
the joke.
Yeah. Aw.
Anyways, that was a memorable Halloween because we kept singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" and people were just like kind of confused.
They're like, take the candy and go.
What about you? Did you do Halloween when you were a kid?
Yeah. Like I grew up poor, so like Halloween was always like the time where it's like, okay, like you get one costume, you really have to take care of it, so you're either not wearing it at school, or if you do, like if you spill on it, then that's it, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it was always just like, okay, I'm dressed as like Tinky Winky, or as Dipsy actually, the green one, Teletubby.
Were you going with other Teletubbies, or was it just you?
No, just me.
Okay.
And in hindsight, it should have been Tinky Winky because he's the guy with the purse, but I really loved Dipsy. And the reason I remember this is because there's a photo of me and my sister Holly, and she's dressed as Ronald McDonald and I'm Dipsy. And we're just like literally like standing side by side, and it's like kind of a close photo, and we're just like smiling with no teeth.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so that, and then specifically at school, I remember one year we couldn't afford to get costumes, and there was like a costume parade. So like every class would like walk around to other classes to show off their costumes.
Whoa, okay.
And obviously I didn't have one, and my teacher was like, no, like we're gonna get like, do you like cats? And I was like, I love cats. And so she went and got a garbage bag, cut like a little hole out for my head and my arms. So I had this like black garbage bag. She like put face paint for my whiskers, and like she made ears for me. And then so I was like so excited to like walk into the class and be like, I'm a cat. Yeah. And so shout out to teachers, are the best.
Aww.
Emma is a teacher, so shout out to Emma.
Thank you.
But yeah, like
That's
that
really
like
cute.
really made such a huge impact to me, because
Aww.
I'm thinking, I was watching that episode being like, wow, like it just reminded me of that moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my two.
That's really cute.
Yeah, stand-up moments.
Oh my gosh. This is making me have questions about the Teletubbies. Like, are they different? Do they have different personalities?
Yeah, they're all different colors.
Well, I know they're different colors, but like
No, they're all kind
maybe
of the
this is
same.
a conversation for a different time.
Yeah. I can all
Vacuums. Speaking of vacuums.
vacuums.
Isn't there like a vacuum robot in the Teletubbies?
Yes. Yes, with a big long nose.
I've also watched a very minimal amount of Teletubbies, but
And a child in the sun.
I've heard of it.
Yes, I've heard tell. Okay, back to this thing that we talk about, Stranger
Back
Things.
to this show.
So the next thing that I've written down is Hopper and Joyce are sharing a cigarette
Yeah.
at Joyce's house.
Yes, they're at Joyce's house. They're talking about like Will's flashback, and Hopper's like, maybe trauma is real. Like I've heard of that.
Which is like so funny the more we get into just like accepting, therapy talk and therapy in general. But like in the 80s, I'm like, LOL, yeah, it is real. And they start hinting at Joyce and Hopper just like having, I don't know, like a relationship of some kind. And he was sort of just like, yeah, like old times. And
sharing a cigarette under the steps.
And she's kind of like, yeah. And like we were talking about at our last episode, that it's sort of painting Joyce as this like commodity for people. Like she's popular.
She's like cool girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
or at very least, if not cool, like kind of takes no shit.
She's giving Max.
Yes.
And
totally.
Hop and Bob are giving the boys.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Okay, Dad. There's a thesis there for you.
But I feel like those are like the 2 points of the scene, which was like we're gonna showcase that this relationship was more than just what we think it is.
Yeah.
And then we also are gonna show like the drawing and that they're now catching on that there's something bigger here.
Oh, then we have a little. Okay, we're at the lab.
Yeah, we sure are.
And someone in a hazmat suit is going into the portal. And as they were going into the portal, I was like, they look like Ghostbusters.
They do look like Ghostbusters. I also thought that.
That's so. I don't really remember having that thought before. Maybe I did, but I was just like,
huh.
I love that they're pulling in such an 80s reference, but also it's like this cool thematic thing that connects to other parts of the story. That's really cool.
Also, did you, for some reason in this scene in particular, it felt like there was a lot of like flashing lights of color where there has never really been.
I did notice that, but I don't know why I didn't really think of it. I guess because I think the last time we saw hazmat going down into the like lab upside down place, they were like fire blasting the thing.
Yes.
And so I kind of just like imagined that was happening again, I guess.
Right.
But maybe I don't know.
I just remember like all of like their boards now have like pink, yellow, green, or like it was like Joseph's coat, like every color everywhere.
Okay. There is a part Joseph's coat. There is a part that I wasn't paying super close attention to where the guy in the hazmat suit like goes into the upside down and like replaces a battery or something, like not a battery, but like replaces like a fuse or something, for lack of a better word.
Because one of them is like fried.
Yes, but it's in the upside down, or it's at least in the basement of the lab.
It feels like it's in the upside down because there's he has a live feed.
Right.
They're watching
they're watching. Why was I not paying attention on this part? Anyways, I did write down camera feed.
Yes.
So that's a thing.
Yes.
But okay, yes. So he goes into the upside down and he has like a body cam or whatever. And they're watching him and talking to him. And then he replaces a fuse or he fixes something. And then it like powers their lab equipment back up.
Yes.
Or something.
Yes. Which again, I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I did write down replacing a battery affected the lab boards, but it also brings me back to when I was like, the upside down feels like it's attached to a generator. Do you remember me saying that in season 1?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is feeling the same. I'm like, why do they need to go to the upside down to do that? And isn't this thing should also be alive in the real world? Because that's what the upside down is, just a different version of where we actually are.
Yeah,
riddle me that, Emma.
I honestly am not sure. I was kind of confused while I was watching this time.
Yeah.
And it's making me think that like every other time I've watched it, I've just been like a little bit confused and therefore just kind of checked out.
Meh, yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
If I need to understand this later, I probably will.
Well, and also I feel like, at least in the last couple episodes, like anytime we watch these scientists go into the upside down, we don't get a whole lot from the scenes. Like they're kind of the same scene.
No, they're
with,
these
like,
tiny little snippets of scene that are just like interspersed with the rest of the story.
Yes.
And at least for me, like, although I am interested in what the heck's going on in the upside down, like the characters and the story are way more compelling on like a moment to moment basis. So
Yes.
I'm just like, get back to the people.
Yes.
We know, please. Like
100%.
tell me what's going on with Halloween.
Yeah, and so while we're watching this, Dr. Sam, I know he has a different last name, but I know his name. But Dr. Sam,
You can call him Dr. Sam.
yeah, he's watching it.
Yeah, and he's also watching footage of Will at one point.
Yeah, he reviews Will's episode tape that
Yes.
we watched, obviously being recorded, and I don't think that there's actually. No, there's no like, this is why I'm doing it. He's just rewatching the thing.
Yeah.
Which, again, I was like, bad vibes. How is he connected to Hopper? I need all that information needs to come to me on my desk by Monday. But yeah, that's sort of how that scene ends, is he ends up going to review Will's episode. And then the next, we finally get to see Nancy and our boy Steve.
Nancy and Steve.
Yes.
And they're at
The library.
their library, the school, or I don't know if it's the school library. Anyways, they're at a library.
Yeah.
And they're like talking about Barb and remembering Barb. And okay, we talked about this last week because we were like, does Steve know what's going on? And
Yes.
I was like, okay, it seems like he does know.
Yes.
At least some stuff.
Yes. Based on their conversation, she's like, we should have said something, you know.
And he sort of says like, well, we can't tell because they will hurt our families and stuff. So he knows that the government or whomever has said like, don't talk about this.
Yes. Which we
makes
do also
sense if
see
he
in
knows
another
about
scene, right? Like
Yeah.
in the scene, actually, in the opening, in the scene where we see that the cops are in the house, they're telling all of like the parents, like, we're not going to talk about this.
Yes.
We're going to move on like nothing has happened.
Yes.
And both the parents are like, yep, totally.
we
Like,
get it.
we're patriots. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Mike is obviously like, that's my friend. I'm not talking about my friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, we now go back to Nancy and Steve, and Nancy like thinks she sees Barb because there's like someone's back of their head that looks like Barb.
Yeah. I know. She's like looking and remembering her, and it's
turns
like
around, not
bringing
her.
back all this, all Nancy's stress
Yes.
about Barb's situation.
Yeah.
This conversation, again, I think we've talked about this in a previous episode at least once, but again, it was like, oh, it's Heather's. When he's like,
Yes.
can we just like, let's just be stupid
be
teenagers.
normal.
Let's be normal. And I
Yes.
was like, they could literally break into the song 17 from
17.
Heather's.
Yes.
Why do we keep talking about Heather's? I don't know
the
why.
80s.
I guess, yeah, it comes up because
The 80s
also
tropes.
Winona Ryder.
It's in a rider.
Wait,
It all makes sense.
if you're not, by the way, if you're not a big musical theater person,
Get on it.
the movie Heather's,
Yes.
which had Winona Ryder in it,
Yeah.
also then later became a musical.
Yes.
And the musical has songs in it that we have referenced to multiple times.
Yes.
It's a great musical. Go pull up the
should listen to
Spotify
it.
after you finish this episode.
Yeah, 17 is a great song.
It's a great song. Lots of great
Yes.
songs in
Yes, and it's not classical musical theater, so if you even just like pop rock, go dive in.
there. Yeah. The musical Heather's is about to have a renaissance because of our podcast, Dan.
They're welcome, and we will take a cut.
They
actually.
are welcome. The vibe between Nancy and Steve at this point is like, oh, we've been through all these like shitty, hard things that are not normal, but we want to just like be normal.
We just
like,
wanna be
we want to
teenagers.
pretend to be normal teenagers. We're gonna go to this party.
And I also was just like, I like Steve. He's being a good boyfriend in this scene. He's being a good boyfriend actually throughout. Don't even get me started about Nancy. So anyway, the next scene is
Oh my God.
Dustin and Lucas. Now they actually engage with Max,
Yeah, they're like showing her their costumes.
trying to impress Max with the
Which is really
costumes.
cute.
It is really cute. Like he like opens up this like little box that's attached to his costume, which I was
Yeah.
like, that's really cool.
It's very involved. yes.
I'm impressed.
Totally.
And then they actually invite Max to go trick or treating with them. And I don't think that she even says like, yes, I'll come, or no, I'm not coming. She just kind of like walks away.
Yeah. She's like, it's presumptuous of you to
Yes.
think that I would want to go trick-or-treating. And Dustin's like, yeah, awesome. Okay. And then later he's like, wait, presumptuous? Like, is that good? Oh, is it bad? Oh, Lucas, is it bad?
Oh shit, son of a bitch, is that bad? The thing I did notice though
Aw.
in this scene is that Max is talking at such a high level of like vocabulary.
Yeah.
Quite smart.
Smart cookie.
Probably reads a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to like Dustin and Lucas, who are just like talking like regular kids.
Sure. Who are also very smart. Like, they're very sciencey. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, Max is kind of like book smart, it seems, in a different way.
She's using like vocab words. And so as she was talking, I was like, interesting that they wrote her to be this smart, like in this convo. Again, continue just to see that Dustin and Lucas are in love with Max, and Max is like kind of too cool for them, but not in like a dismissive way. She just is too cool for them.
Yeah. And she's just unbothered by anything that they're like. She's focused on her life and her skateboard and has no time for these silly billies.
And then it switches over to our girl 11. So I was quite happy about that.
This
she's
is where
watching
she's
TV,
watching TV,
turning the channel with her head. Because back in those days, there was a little knob at the front.
It's too much work.
This is the scene where she's like talking with the TV because she goes, somebody on the TV goes, oh, people are going to be aghast. And then she says it in an accent.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how she speaks normally. But she's like doing an accent as 11 doing an accent, which I thought was really cute.
That is really cute. I never even thought about that. That's really funny.
That was like just one of the lines that like really stood out to me. Then she like gets to a static. Oh no, we just get a flashback.
Yes, she has a flashback. She like sees a squirrel outside.
Yes.
And that like gives her this flashback of her being in the woods. And okay, the thing that I noticed about this was that her hair is longer.
Yes.
So it's so smart. I was like, oh, you're showing us
time
so easily.
Yes.
Like that time passed while she was in the woods. And all the questions that we had last week about like, what's the timeline of this happening and this happening? I'm like, they're giving us more intel about that.
Yes.
So she's out in the woods. She's like killed a squirrel.
Yes.
And then there's this guy, like a hunter, shows up in the woods.
Random dude, seemingly.
And she's like, I'll be taking those warm jacket and hat that you have.
Well, she's like frying this carcass of a squirrel because she literally like did a mind trick where she like takes the squirrel and just like
chucked it against
at
a
tree. I was like, woo. And then while she like turns around to look at him, the squirrel thing like goes up in the air on fire. And she just, like, yanks it at his head. He goes down. Like Emma said, she, like, steals his clothing and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're seeing 11 in survival.
Yes.
Like, she is, like...
she's out there fending for herself.
Yeah, which is, again, so crazy because I'm like, you are still in the same town as everything else.
Totally. She's not very far from anything.
It's feeling very, like, Game of Thrones. Like, it's, like, snowy. She's, like, has a bunch of clothing on. It feels like... There's no one for miles, and so I have to kill squirrels. I'm like,
totally.
No, babe, if you just like walk 2 minutes that way,
you'll be back at the grocery store.
Yeah, you're just like, you're not allowed
Go
in
get
there.
Some
probably.
Morangos.
Yes.
They have a picture on the wall. They're like, did you see this girl? She's permanently
dangerous.
banned.
Yeah, but yeah, that was just like really funny because it really did feel like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's also like I'm having this thought for the first time, but I'm like, 11 has no idea how big the world is.
Yeah.
Like, she has no way of knowing that, like, she could keep walking and get to other places.
Yes, she could change her whole life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, she's just like, well, this one town was bad news for me, and I have no idea what else is out there. So she's just living in its backyard, basically.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, I have what I need here. Like, for now, it's not great, but...
yeah, I mean, she learned how to make a fire.
Yeah.
Cooking squirrels.
She figured out enough to survive. And she is a little survivalist. Interesting, too, though, that, like, obviously she does use her powers to kill the squirrel and stuff.
Yep.
Maybe make a fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's still just, like, a kid in the woods. Like, she doesn't have much else going for her.
No, the knowledge isn't there. But she has all of the supplies and tools to survive, even though she's like, I don't know how to do it, but this is how I'm going to do it. So we get to see her in survival mode and random men not surviving. I'm sure for her, she's like, is that the bad people?
Yeah,
like,
she doesn't know.
Any adult bad. And then we end up seeing a bit more about the crops dying.
Yeah, there's like a really short little scene of Hop, and he goes out to one of the farms, and there's just like more dead stuff everywhere. Like all the fields, now all the farmers' fields are dying.
Yeah, and they listed the names of them. I'm like, are those people important? I don't think so.
I think it was just important for Hop to know that's happening more than one place.
And then right after that scene, we get to see Billy, and he, all I wrote down is I'm like, Max's brother is annoying, because this is before I knew his name was Billy.
Oh, sure.
Because he's kind of like, okay, hurry up, like we gotta go, blah, 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 like really just like being dismissive. And then while they're driving in the car, he insinuates and blames Max for the reason that they are in the town. Yeah. So I'm like, did they come from Pittsburgh? Because that's the only other town currently that we've like explored in our, world. But he's fully being like, well, you're the reason. Well, he doesn't say you're the reason we're here. He's like, whose fault is it that we're here? It's not mine.
Yeah.
And he's like yelling at her in the car. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah. I could be wrong about this, and I'm hoping that I'm not spoiling anything here, but I don't think this matters that much.
Okay.
I think in the first episode, when they introduce Max to the classroom, they say that they moved from California.
Probably.
Goes by really quick, but
Okay, great.
anyways, I do think they've said that.
Yeah, okay, great. He's like blaming them for all that, but while they're yelling,
Yeah.
we then get to see another angle of this street that they're on, and our boys are riding their bikes,
Yeah.
all looking like, the
The
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters on their bikes.
And then Billy's like, do I get 10 points if I hit them all? Like, there's your friend. She's like, we're not friends, trying to protect them a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, because I think she's like, these are the only kids who have talked to me in my school, and now we're going to kill them in this car.
Jesus, Billy.
Yeah, and they're coming from behind, too. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Because initially I was like, why aren't the kids getting out of the way?
Yeah, they're not seeing the car necessarily.
Yeah, and then you like sort of hear the rev of the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Max like grabs the wheel to like pull them away, and the boys go the other way. But the boys see that it was Max.
Yes.
And I was like, perception. Perception is really important here.
Yeah.
But I don't.
What do you mean by that? Like the kids think that...
Well, yeah, I was sort of like, do they now think that Max was trying to hurt them?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But then in the later scenes, they don't seem to be bothered by it.
No. But
Which is weird.
Yeah, I know. I kind of noticed that too. I mean, I guess they know she's not driving
Right.
because she's a kid.
Yep.
Like them.
Yeah. Good point, Emma.
Well, anyways, but they do see that it's her in the car.
Yes.
So at very least, they see that she has like somebody she's driving with that is like crazy.
Well,
Or
and
maybe just who knows what.
they could
volatile.
have also, yeah, they could have also, because we get to see that it was on purpose. But I guess if you're just riding your bike, you're like, well, we are kind of in the road.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah,
They were just going a bit fast.
they don't know exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like that scene sort of like sets that dynamic up of like Billy is a wild child and Max is being blamed for why they're there. At least that's what they're insinuating currently.
Yeah, totally.
And then we switch over again to this pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
There's more pumpkins that are rotting.
Yes.
But then we come up against a sappy tree. And there seems to be a lot of sappy trees in this town currently. The cornfield has all rotted. And then I'm like, is this connected to the Upside Down?
Okay.
Is this connected to the thing that's like sending power to the lab?
Okay.
I don't know. But then I also was like, he's placing yellow flags, Hop is placing yellow flags in the ground in front of all of the trees that have sap.
Yeah, they go around like marking the rotting trees.
We don't currently get any importance in that in this episode.
Sure.
But they did do like, we're going to zoom in on this flag in front of this tree and we're going to stay here for just a little bit. And I'm like, we're going to see this. And I'm like, I don't know if it's going to show up in the Upside Down. I don't know if it's going to show up, if it's going to lead to something to somewhere.
Yeah.
But they want us to know that like all of these trees that have sap on them are being flagged by Hopper. And so that was really interesting to me.
Yes. I agree. That's interesting.
I concur.
I also find that interesting.
Yes.
Bob has a little camcorder.
Oh, Bob.
What's your read on Bob at this point, based on this episode?
They're trying to paint him as a good guy.
Okay.
They're trying to paint him as someone who just like really likes Joyce, wants to be a good dad to these kids. He's dressed as Dracula. But our boy Jonathan, because last time I was like, how do the kids feel about him? Well, we kind of learned like
We get a little more
Jonathan
of
is
that.
like, I don't get what she sees in him. And I'm like, not about what she sees in him. I think it's the other way around. That's where I'm at. I'm skeptical.
Okay.
But yeah, he's like, I want to move away with you, like get our own lives and just like blah blah, like trying to slow dance. He's like, why are you being stiff on me, baby? Like, let's just like relax and stuff. But if you're trying to be a spy on her, you want her to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe I'm going down a path, following the yellow brick road and it's going nowhere. But he really does seem that he likes her at the very least.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But for the moment, at least, he's at their house. It's
Yep.
Halloween.
Yep.
Jonathan and Will are going out. They're gonna go trick
With
or treating.
strict instructions.
Yes. Jonathan is not gonna let Will go off on his own.
Correct.
Joyce is like, bring him home by whatever time.
Which Will is not happy about.
No.
He's sort of like, none of my other friends have to be escorted.
Yeah.
Like no one else is being watched over. And Jonathan, I think he sort of like feels bad, but also he has something that he wants to go do, which is the party that Nancy's going to, which I have thoughts about when we get there.
I'm sure you do.
But Jonathan lets Will, he's like, okay, like, because Will says, can I just go until like 9, like
Yeah.
9:30? And then he's like, yeah, you can go, but like, You need to be back on time.
He's going to let him go off with the boys.
And I was like, bad.
Because, why? Because he has his party to go to.
Yep. And we learn at that party that Billy is a bar star. Billy is like...
He's the new keg king.
Yes, sure is. He's doing a cake stand, the first thing we see, and then he gets up and everyone's like, yeah, brother, and they're like all running and chasing him. And then the camera brings us to Nancy and Steve, and they're kind of watching. And then this dynamic starts to like slowly tick, 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 because Nancy's like, I want to let loose, and my boyfriend Steve is like, hey, we should probably be responsible.
Yeah.
Like slow down on the punch. But Nancy just like, she's like, you said you wanted to like be normal and blah blah blah, like this is us,
we're
like
gonna
letting
be
loose.
stupid.
Yes. And
yeah,
she sure was.
Oh,
in my humble opinion.
I was like, Dan is gonna have thoughts and feelings about this.
Yeah,
I just had a feeling.
I just know it. And then obviously Jonathan shows up. This is later, but like Jonathan shows up to this party, and I'm like, this is a recipe for disaster. Whenever the three of them are together and Nancy doesn't have her head on straight, bad vibes. Steve always gets hurt. Jonathan always comes to, in quote, the rescue. But we'll get there.
We will get there.
We have thoughts.
A little scene here where Bob and Joyce, this is the slow dancing, and he's like, we should move out of Hawkins. And she's like, we're not a normal family. Like, you don't know what's going on here. And I actually kind of appreciated that she, although she does seem very, like, taken with Bob, and you know, like she's always got
the guard up,
a little bit of guard up, and I think it is just the fact that like she and her kids have been through so much that just nobody else can understand.
Totally.
There's no possible way for anyone else to understand.
Yeah, and also she's like, somebody has said they loved me before. Somebody said they were going to be the, you know, the greatest dad.
Yeah, exactly. I've been down that road.
And like... I was alone for a long time, and I had to take care of my two boys. And as much as I love you, they're my people.
Yeah, those two kids are still number one for her, for sure.
Which again, shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms.
And just like parents in general, but like in this show, they're really highlighting that moms are doing the heavy lifting.
Yep.
We see Hop with some more sappy trees, but while he's doing this, he realizes, because he like sees this like kid while he's driving, oh shoot, 11, like well past 5:15.
He's like, oh shit, I'm late.
I know. And I wrote down, I was like, late for 11, you promised. Like she's like, promise. He's like, I promise. Hop doesn't do promises very well.
We've yet to see someone promise 11 something and then follow through on it.
I know. Mike has tried.
He's trying.
Yeah. Poor guy. So then Hop goes back to the kid with like the fake gun.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, give me your candy. And I was like, you're stealing candy from a kid
on Halloween?
And then the kid's like, no. And then he's like, well, what about money? Kids love money. I'm sure. He did not get paid enough for that. But then we see sort of Hop like drive to the house.
Yeah.
He signals late. We see like 11 hearing Morse code.
Yeah, I think so.
And so she's like, LATE, late. And I was
like, yeah, no shit, buddy.
Disappointed.
Like,
yeah. She's like, you've
freaking late.
Been late.
Oh, late.
Yeah. Oh, that's what this means.
What that is.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
But then we get another flashback, and 11 is in the snow. And this is where we get to see her find the food in the basket.
Yeah.
But when Hop put the food in the basket, it was not snowing. I don't think.
Was it not? I thought it was Christmas.
I don't think it was snowing though. Or at least like the box that he put it in wasn't covered in snow.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I don't remember fully. I remember though that it was like the first time we saw him put food in the box, he was leaving the Christmas party.
Yes.
And there was like snow everywhere. Remember we talked about there being snow because it was like the upside down.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Point is,
she finds the food.
She finds the food.
And we don't know at this point if she already knew that food was going to be there.
Yeah, that's unclear.
Yeah. Or if this is the first time that she spots it. But the fact that she isn't like taken by the fact that there is a waffle in there, she just like grabs it and runs, makes me think this isn't the first time.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
But also she'd be like, Mike. Like maybe she thinks that it's Mike.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah. I never
because that's
even
where the connection of that
yeah.
would be. And also I'm like, how does he know that? Then there might have been just things that, you know, have happened but have slipped my mind.
Sure.
But anyway, so Mike is not liking Max. He doesn't like that she's infiltrating the group, which is mirroring Lucas not liking 11.
It's making sense.
Yeah, so they're all going trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
And Max scares them. Like, she like sort of jumps out and scares them. and like pulls off the mask. She's like, haha, are we going or not? Like, you want to do this? Like, let's go. And the boys are
Dustin
like,
and
let's
Lucas
go.
are like, woo!
Yeah.
She showed up. Yeah.
And Mike is sort of with Will, and he's like, I don't like her.
Yeah. Like, did you agree to this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
was
Max
there a
joining the
majority
party.
vote?
And I was literally like, this is how Dan feels. Dan's like, I didn't agree to her joining the party.
Period.
Well, and I think what makes sense about that, in my opinion, is that, like, although we are getting a little bit more of Max, like a little tiny bit at a time, she's not really a character yet. Like,
No.
she's only really like a foil to their group dynamic.
Correct.
She's just there to create tension between the rest
Yeah,
of them.
tension and a goal.
Yeah.
For Lucas and Dustin. Yeah, like they don't have anything currently that they're going after, so they're like, we'll give them Max.
Totally.
Because obviously Mike is still for 11 and Will is fighting off this thing that he ends up experiencing. So he has an episode.
Like, scared.
Yes.
By like some other scary kid in a costume, and then he like goes to the Upside Down, has this episode.
Well, it's important to note too that Mike has like run off. So he's alone. And something I wrote down was like, no one's there to pull him out of this.
Yeah.
And we had talked at the last episode, like, the people around him, like, whenever they sort of see him, like, do their Raven Simone, That's So Raven, like, looking out into the distance thing, they have to pull him out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God, no one is there to pull him out. And the spider thing is, like, right there. And interestingly, it's going after Will. Even though he told everyone's like, he doesn't want to kill me, he wants to kill everyone else. So he's a liar. No, but I was just like interesting because it is fully going after him.
Yeah. It's like chasing him in the Upside Down, and he runs away from it and goes and hides down this little staircase kind of thing.
Yes.
So again, they can't find him in the real world either because he's hiding.
Which is interesting now because that to me says like when he moves in the Upside Down in his brain, he is moving in the real world too.
It's different from how 11 was in the bathtub, and her body is clearly just here doing this thing.
And we see
and
that
her
in this
mind
episode.
goes elsewhere.
Yes.
But Will, it seems as though his body is actually doing this thing in the real world.
Well, and this is the first time that we've seen him not be frozen.
Yes.
Because that's the part that they remind us of in the when Dr. Sam is watching the video. He's like, I just like freeze.
Yeah.
And this time he doesn't freeze and he runs.
Yes.
He's calling for Mike the whole time, which I was like, wow, Mike is really that dude. But Mike saves him. He ends up finding him and pulls him out, which is like 10 points to our BC boy, Mike. And so, like, I think this is introducing the fact that when Will goes and has an episode, his body is doing everything that's happening in the Upside Down in his brain. Yeah. Well, in quotes, in his brain. I'm still not convinced that it's just in his brain. But
sure,
I did note that he only calls for Mike, which I think is really cute.
That is really cute.
Then
Mike is going to take Will home.
Yes.
Mike is like, we're done. We don't want to hang out with you guys anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Will home.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
Which I was like, if you do that, we are all in trouble.
I had that thought too. And then, like, nothing comes of it.
No.
At all.
No.
In the whole rest of the episode. I mean, maybe that's to come. I don't remember. But
sure.
Anyways, okay.
This is where Dan starts losing all respect for Nancy.
So we're back at the party.
We're at the party. And Nancy has now had too much to drink.
There's a lot of, like, barfing and making out going on at this party.
Okay, there was like a couple behind the action, and their script just said make out the whole time.
Yeah.
And like hold each other as close as you can to each other's bodies. I'm like, can you imagine? Like, I'm going on set, I have to make out this kiss for like 14 hours.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Whoa.
Yeah, so then Nancy's like really trying to drink more. Steve is like, no. He brings her to the bathroom because she's like gonna vomit or whatever.
Like, she spills. They're like having like a little tussle over the drink, and she like spills it on herself.
Yes. And then they go to the bathroom, and she's like trying to clean it up, and she keeps being like, everything's bullshit, you're bullshit. And I literally wrote down, leave Steve alone. And then he's like, what are you talking about? Like, trying to reason with her. Yeah. And like, she's like super drunk, and he's like, what, you don't love me? And she's like, it's bullshit. And I was like, wow, Steve, get out of there. And he does. Yeah. It's like so heartbroken. Yeah. And he's actually doing a really good job in this scene acting wise, because you're seeing him discover like, what, do you not love me?
Well, because I think she says something about like, she's like, we're just pretending everything's fine, and like we're pretending we're normal, and like we're in love, and it's bullshit.
He's like
it's all
in
bullshit.
Love.
I think that's where, where
yeah,
it comes
like
from.
in love, and she's like, it's bullshit, and he's like, wait, you don't love me? Yeah, and then I was really sad because
Yeah.
she needs to whatever. And then I actually wrote down at that point, I'm like, ugh, Jonathan's gonna swoop in. And he does. Because Steve leaves because he's like, well, F you then. If you don't love me, like, why am I here?
Sure.
And then Jonathan has already arrived to the party.
Yeah, he shows up. He's the
He's
guy
with
who
the
hates
kiss girl.
parties.
Yeah, that was funny.
And he sees Nancy and Jonathan dancing, and then he, I guess, sees them go upstairs, and then sees Steve leave.
Yes. So then he goes upstairs. We like sort of like skip over a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
in the show, but like we see him like bringing her out of the car. And,
Yeah, he
like,
takes
kind
her
of,
home.
Yeah, and I was like, ugh. Then he like puts her in the bed, and I was like, if Steve shows up right now, I actually am going to kill myself because this will be round 2 of Jonathan like barking up the wrong but probably right tree.
Sure.
Wrong tree right now.
Sure.
I'm like, she has a boyfriend, regardless of like how much they're like not in a good spot right now because
Sure.
she's drunk.
Yeah.
But he like tucks her into bed and she's like, Jonathan. And then he like goes to the door and like looks at her before he leaves. I'm just like, get out of here. Go home. You were supposed to be looking after your brother.
Yeah.
And he had an episode because of you.
Oh man. I am very like, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but I'm like, I feel like this perspective is like not what I expected.
Is this a hot take?
Yeah, a little bit. But not like, I don't think you're wrong. I just like, I think it's interesting.
I think the show wants you to want Nancy and Jonathan.
Sure,
To,
totally.
like, to be connecting and like
Yeah.
this, like him being the savior every time is like nice for her and for him.
The thing that I'm very unimpressed with is that although Steve's feelings are very hurt, which is totally fair, he just like leaves her.
Yeah.
And he knows that she's so wasted.
Yeah.
And like isn't gonna get home. Like who knows what's gonna happen to her. So that part feels like,
for me though, I'm like, can you imagine you're like in love with somebody and they're just like, no, I'm faking it.
sure. Yeah.
I'd be like, fake it on your own then.
Yeah, totally. And that's, I mean, yes, I've not been in that scenario, so I don't know. But I guess there's just a part of me that's like,
You would just leave your girlfriend.
yeah, like that feels like
Reckless, kind of careless.
it feels very careless. And the part that I find, again, maybe admirable isn't quite the right word about Jonathan, is I'm like, although I do think he clearly like has feelings for her, and like I think that's like undeniable at this point.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like in that moment
He's doing the right thing.
I think it's impossible that he doesn't have like ulterior motive is like the wrong word, but I think like she's not even going to remember that this happened probably.
Right.
I
We don't
I
remember.
shouldn't say what is or isn't going to happen because I actually don't really remember, but like he's not doing it for any particular reason other than that he does care about her.
Yeah, he cares
like,
and he's like,
wants
this
her
is
to
the
get
right
home
thing.
safe and like you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
wants her to be okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just more mad at Nancy.
Yeah, which is fair.
And Jonathan is the byproduct. And this happened in the first episode where I'm like, okay, so you're inviting to this party, and then obviously you see your boyfriend. Jonathan's like, okay, well, I'm out. And then you like look longingly as he walks down the hallway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not upset that you have feelings for Jonathan. Just let Steve go.
Sure. Yes, that is a very fair.
Let her man walk. And you can go do whatever you want. Like
Totally.
if this wasn't a thing, I would be like, yes, Jonathan, Nancy, like just
Yeah,
acknowledge the love here, like boa.
Yes.
But I'm like, don't hurt Steve in the making of this.
Yes, no, I don't think that's a hot take. That's a very fair take. But
Wow.
I do find the whole thing interesting. I was very curious how you were going to feel about this because you were such a team Steve.
Yeah, I'm a Steve stan.
There's not even like a portmanteau for that. It's just Stan.
Because I think that he is trying. I think that's like what I'm seeing.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think in my real life, whenever I see like someone's genuinely trying to do something, and I know Jonathan is too.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, you gotta read the room, bro. Like,
well, and it's hard to watch Nancy like having chosen Steve for a year.
yes,
The better part of a year.
yes,
If you're not good with this anymore, like you need to do something about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like weird. She's yeah. Something's happening there.
I think it would be funny to see like our minutes of discussion
About this.
Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan compared to every other topic in this show.
And like how positive or negative I'm being about it. I just
Listen,
have feelings.
we have feelings, And
that's why we're doing a podcast.
that's right. Yeah.
If we were just nonchalant about this, we would just watch and talk to each other via text, and then no one would know.
Which is why literally in episode 1, I know we talked about this last week. we're beating the dead horse here. We'll just beat it for another minute or two. In episode 1, you were like, "Ugh, Steve, what a douchebag," and I was just like, Dan,
you gotta wait.
You literally have no idea what is to come for you.
The Steve Harrington effect. Well, and it didn't take very long.
No.
Love for
Dan
that guy.
is a Steve boy.
Yes, I am. Okay,
oh
so
boy.
then
What else happens in this episode?
We go back
what
to
happens in this show?
Period. Nothing else that matters. Will is talking to our boy Mike.
Yeah.
They're downstairs. They're sort of like tiptoeing around his episodes, and then they sort of get into it.
Yeah, he kind of explains like what happens to him. Why,
yeah. And then Will says, "I saw something." And Mike goes, "A demigorgon?" And he says, "No," which I was like, I didn't think it was either. Remember, I was like, it's like a spider snake thing, and it has like 8 legs. Feels like whatever. So he like sort of says like it's not that, but then this is where he says it was coming for me, which is a contradiction from his therapy session, which we talked about earlier. And part of me is like, we're now seeing that Will is either lying to people about what's actually going on, but also he's like 11, so how does he know? He's just like, this is what I'm experiencing, and every time it is different. Yeah. Because sometimes I'm frozen, and this time I ran, and like the first time I didn't feel like it was coming for anyone else, or it wasn't coming for me, it was coming for everyone else. Yeah. But this one specifically was coming for me.
Over this episode and the last episode of season 2, we've seen him have a couple of these like episodes. Yep. But they also talked about that they had been going on. Yes. For the whole year, maybe? Or at least they were happening. So it's like we're only seeing a little bit of what happened. We don't really know. Yeah. And we also don't know.
Well, I was going to say, we don't know how consistent it's been until now. Like,
yes.
The doctor's sort of saying like, oh, well, it's the anniversary effect. Yeah. But I'm like, is it?
Like, totally. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, has Will been having them this consistent? Because if, like, it feels like they're trying to be like, Will is experiencing, like, this for the first time in this way.
It feels like this thing is new.
Yes.
Something about what's going on now is different.
It's different, yeah. And so, yeah, we got to keep an eye on this, I think.
Okay.
I think they want us to think about this a little bit.
Hop gets home. Oh, this is after Jonathan takes Nancy home and that
yes.
whole thing.
Also, I was so worried that Jonathan or Nancy were going to say I love you to each other in that scene. Oh, boy. I was like, do not.
Do not.
They just said, do not say I love you.
Yes. No, he just like tucks her in, leaves. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then I was like, now what is your plan? Like, is it still before 9?
Right.
Do you still have time to go find Will? Like, I was like,
and bring
Mom
him home?
Is going to effing kill everyone.
It's true.
If she finds out about this.
And yeah, I was like, that was the one rule.
Yeah.
And nobody followed it.
Nope.
But they are teenagers, so that's bound to happen.
True. Even for Jonathan.
Yeah.
Even for good, like, you know, Nancy's such a good girl up till now.
Until she's not sober. Which I guess is most people sometimes. I guess so. I don't know. Yeah. I don't drink, so.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. When we were watching this episode, I was like, oh, I'm going to ask Dan, like, have you been to this kind of party? Like, is this kind of like house party, Halloween party, like within your realm of experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, Dan's not really like, I know he's not like a drinker now, and I don't know if you've ever really been, like even in high school or whatever. No. It reminded me though of one time me and Dan were at like our mutual friend's house in the summer. Well, we were at her parents' house, and they live in this beautiful beach house, and we were like there in the summer. Yes. And we were having like people were drinking. We were having this party. It was like in the daytime, like it wasn't like crazy or anything, but whatever. People were drinking, and Dan was like, yeah, like I don't really drink, whatever. And then like our dear friend's mom, like I think what she was going to try and ask was like, oh, do you not like how you behave when you're or drunk. Whatever, if you get drunk or whatever. Yeah. But what she said, just what came out of her mouth was like, oh, do you not like yourself?
And that has like been a thing with our friends forever. Dan, do you not like yourself?
Do you not like yourself?
I just don't actually like other people when they're drunk.
Me neither.
And I'm like,
I do not like being around drunk people.
No, and I'm like, and now I have to be aware enough for all of us.
Yes, totally.
And I also just don't like the taste of alcohol.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, unless we're
That's
having.
fine.
Thank you for that.
You're
no,
allowed.
I appreciate that.
But it was just, I went through in my mind being like, oh, I'm going to ask Dan about these. Has
You're
he
like,
ever been
wait
to
a
a party?
second.
And then I was like, wait a second. He doesn't drink. And then I was like, it's because he doesn't like himself. Where were we? Oh, yeah. They went
yes.
to the party. We talked about that forever. Okay.
Now we're at Hop
Yes.
finally showing up to 11.
Hop gets home and he is in the doghouse with 11.
Yeah, can I also mention though, remember I was like, it's so weird because he has like these like trap lines outside.
Yes.
But there's like, I was expecting like 6 locks on the door. But in this scene, when he comes through the door, there is. Like, there's just like bolt after bolt after bolt after bolt. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I do have that. Because he was like knocking on the door for quite a while. And 11's like,
And she has to let him in.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. It seems like it.
Yeah.
Because like you hear unlocking and then the door opens. But again, she can do that all with her mind.
But she's mad. She doesn't want to talk to him. She's hiding in her room.
Yes. And this is where she connects to. And he's like, Hop is like, I got the candy. Like, don't make me hate myself by eating all these like alone. She's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
So yes, now she's watching TV and she like switches to the static, this like station that has static.
Mm-hmm.
Puts the blindfolds on and she's trying to connect to her dimension. And she does.
She like goes to find Mike.
Our boy Mike, who is, here's the thing. I'm in love with how like hopeless romantic he is for her. Even if it's platonic, but I don't think it is. Like, he's like keeping the ring on the bedside table. She will be back. Like, it feels like that. Yeah. And so when she goes to her dimension, he's just sitting in her fort, like on the radio. Yeah. And she like walks up to him and she misses him too. Like, it's just it's so cute to watch them. And he's like, she does say Mike and he hears her. Yeah. And then she doesn't say anything else.
Yep.
But she's like face to face with him in her dimension. And then I don't remember like what happens, but he ends up like putting the thing down and walking away. I don't know if he gets called or
I don't remember
if there's just like no response. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But for her, all she sees is he like hears her and then walks away. And she's like devastated.
She's so sad.
And I'm devastated because I'm like, that's our girl and our boy. Yeah. I just want them to be happy and together.
And to go to the snowball.
When's the snowball?
I just reminded Dan of the
when's the snowball? Is it coming? Oh God, no, please. Hop better get her a really cute dress. Emma just was like, oh, I can't say anything.
My face is like exploding with things to say.
I forgot about the snowball because they promised they were going to go. Wait, we talked about people breaking promises with 11. Ooh.
I regret bringing this up. Dan, it's going to be okay. It is going to be okay.
Okay, can I ask? Or maybe you don't remember. Like, when in the episodes does the snowball happen? Do we have like a lot of time to wait, or is it coming up soon?
The snowball does happen in this season.
Okay. Oh, I really need that to happen for them. Okay, wait. I'm gonna be really upset.
Okay.
If Mike and Max go to the snowball together, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Okay.
Because currently there's like it's setting up that he like doesn't like her.
Yeah.
But she's the new girl in town.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set this thing on fire, I swear to God. Because if 11 knows when it is, she's trying to go. That's a lot of disappointment. I don't know how I'm gonna handle that. We're gonna have to watch the episode together.
We can.
We will, yeah. Okay. Wow. I don't know what else to say.
It is good. It's gonna be okay. Dan.
Okay, good.
It's gonna be okay.
And then our last episode, you asked me about the trash can with Dustin. And so this is the last scene of this episode.
Yes, going way back. This is another reason I think we know Max is from California, because the boys are like teasing her, kind of making fun of her, but they're saying like surfer slang.
Yes.
Like they're saying like tubular. I mean, he just kept saying tubular over and over again, but they say other stuff too. I don't remember what.
So Dustin pulls up to his house. Trash can happens. Something we didn't talk about before, but this scene I wrote down specifically. Will hears a sound happening in the upside down before the spider leg thing starts to come after him.
Yes, and he tells Mike about it, I think.
Yeah, he's like, I heard
hear
this sound.
thing. And that's when Mike is like, was it a demigorgon, I think?
Yes.
Or something. Goes, no. He's like, no, something else.
Yeah, and so trash can starts to shake again, and you hear that sound. And so I was like, what is it? And then I'm like, is it what's causing the rotting crops in the town?
Yeah, okay.
Is it the smaller version of what Will's seeing in his episodes? Because when Dustin opens up the trash can, he like says something like, what is that? Or like, he's like, he
like looks in, we see him, we don't see what's in the trash can, our view is looking out of the trash can.
Yes.
And he says like, holy shit, and then it just like
cuts
out.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm sort of like, maybe this is another Dungeons and Dragons monster.
Okay.
Because I don't remember exactly what he says, but it gave me the impression that he knew what he was looking at.
Okay.
And so I'm like, he's a science boy. He's also D&D boy.
Yeah.
He's also a Ghostbuster.
He knows ghosts. He knows D&D.
Yeah.
He knows science.
So I'm like, what's in there?
Just like my boy Dustin.
Yeah, exactly. So what is in there, and why there? Like, why at Dustin's house in the trash can? Is it trying to get Dustin? Just have questions.
Yeah.
To be discovered. Yeah, and then that was the episode. You know what's interesting is while I was watching, and maybe this because I watched it really late because I had things that I had to do. Yeah. But I was feeling like the episode was long. Like anytime I'd pause to write something down, look up, I'm like, well, there's still like 30 minutes left. And I'd like write something else, and I'm like, 27 minutes. And so I was like, wow, it's feeling really long. But there was a lot that happened. And then when we talk about it, I'm like, no, it was a good episode. But in the moment, maybe I was just tired. But I was like, ugh.
It's feeling slow.
Yeah, I was feeling slow again.
Yeah.
But again, I think it is like season 1. You need like 1 or 2 episodes to sort of like place this foundation of what's to come.
Totally.
And then just like bam, 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 bam.
To get us asking all the questions before we start kind of unpacking things.
Cool. Overall good episode.
Yeah.
What's in the trash can?
What is in the trash can?
Mike and 11 better go to the snowball together. Someone's going to hear about it. You will hear about it, actually.
I'll definitely hear about it if that doesn't happen. I have no doubt.
That was it. How did you feel about this episode? How did you feel about that last scene? Did you write anything down?
I wrote down Dustin practicing tubular. Trash can. What? And then 2 question marks.
Yes.
That about sums it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching this episode again. I think like my experience of it is so filtered through like what I think you're going to think about stuff.
I was just about to ask you about this.
So I find like moments that I'm like, oh, this is like nice, or this is whatever. I'm just like, well, Dan's gonna love this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I was about to ask you, like, because you and I have talked about this show obviously every week for like the last like month and a half.
Yeah.
Now when you're watching it, does my opinions on things like shift your perspective on how you're watching it, or you just go to sort of go like, oh, I know Dan's gonna like this, as opposed to like, well, he did bring up good points, or you just sort of like, how are you feeling?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like, there's definitely things, like, I'm trying to think of an example.
I mean, Steve and Jonathan.
Well, yeah, I was just like, I don't know how Dan is going to feel about this, but he's going to feel something.
There'll be a lot of feelings going on.
Like, Dan will have thoughts, and I'm sure I'll be hearing about them
so much
in a good way, which, of course, I'm happy to be hearing about.
Yes.
And I'm like really enjoying being along for the ride of your journey of like figuring out how you feel about the new characters.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Like Bob, Billy, Max, like all the new stuff.
Yes.
Dr. Owens.
Callie has yet to come back.
Sure. Yeah.
She's still on my radar. I'm like, okay, Pittsburgh, show up, roll up whenever you're driving somewhere.
Which is so funny because when that scene happened, you were just like, I don't want to be watching this.
And I
Get
still
out of my
feel
life.
that way. I don't want them back, but I know they are coming back.
Sure. So you're like, what's happening with them?
Yes.
Totally.
My biggest like love right now is that like 11's story is still so prominent.
Totally.
Even though like I think that they could get away with her being less important right now. Like,
well, there's so many characters,
so
much going on, and obviously we care about things that are happening with other characters.
Yes. Well, yeah. I'm like, Will's story is really like
Yeah.
is keeping us connected to the Upside Down. So yeah, I'm like, there's a lot going on that they could really just be like, okay, here's a glimpse of her. She is still here. Okay, here's a glimpse of her.
Totally.
But I do appreciate that they're like, no. She does have like, you need to know how she got here, how her and Hop found each other. Like,
yeah. She's still on the poster for a reason.
And she
like,
should be.
You know, we're not gonna stop
we can't bench 11.
focusing on her story.
Period.
Yeah. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No, like, duh.
Duh.
Yeah.
Totally. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes.
If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on TikTok at STHasHappenedPod or on Instagram at Stranger Things Has Happened Pod. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, great episode, Emma.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan. Okay. Oh, and thanks, Dustin Wilde, for our theme music.
Can I just say that friends of mine who have listened to the episode with Dustin, he's in our finale episode for season 1.
Yeah.
They loved it.
Aw.
They're just like, oh, he had like so many good, like, oh, like here's some thoughts here and here's some
Totally.
thoughts here. And I was like, a king.
More Dustin, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for listening, folks. Talk at you next time.
Bye.